course
One.
not.
That's it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Two Comic Book Dudes. This is Thursday's Valiant effort for the week of September 30th. It's the
Books that
comic
came
books
out.
released on September 30th, 2015.
And the
Someday,
23rd.
years from now, they'll be looking back going, wow, they had comic books 100 years ago and YouTube? Probably not. Anyway, and we had two books from the week before as well. Sorry.
It's okay. So three books. Three
Yeah.
Valiant books this week, and they're all death-related.
Yep, all Book of Death related. So that's awesome. So I'm Aaron Clutter, editor-in-chief of Comic Booked.
I'm Justin, managing editor over at Comic Booked.
And this is Thursday's Valiant effort, so we try every week to get together and talk about all things Valiant related, Valiant Entertainment, Valiant Comics, Exo Man of War, Bloodshot, like on Justin's shirt, Harbinger, Bloodshot,
Rye.
Ninjak, Rye. Like
Unity,
Eternal Warrior, Archer and Armstrong, all those good guys. So everybody that you love, even Quantum and Woody. Can't forget them.
Yeah.
So, and they actually all show up in one of the books we're going to talk about today.
Oh, and before we start, did you hear the news about Faith getting her own?
I did.
Ongoing series?
Yes.
What do you think about that?
That was kind of cool. That's interesting. I kind of like her. She's probably one of my favorite characters from that series. I was really disappointed when they didn't keep her in Unity for more than like 2 books.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she joined Unity and it's like, all right, this is good. And she's all like, peppy, I finally get to be a superhero. And then she's like, you guys are bad. I'm leaving.
Done with you.
Left. I was like, geez, that lasted 2 whole issues. What in the world? She just didn't like the way they did business. I was like, all right, that's cool. So,
right, No, go ahead.
It'll be interesting to see how they treat it.
Right. I liked it, and I liked that potentially in this week's Harbinger, we might have got a little foreshadowing of what her life was or what we're going to see about her life,
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that a little bit because that's from last week's books. We can sort of spoil those. No, this is Fall of the Harbinger this week.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, that's right. So we can't spoil that. Darn. Man, I wanted to talk about that one.
I know.
All right. Well, we will tell you who she marries when we get to that point. We'll tell you who she marries.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was
pretty cool. Yep. So, all right, we're going to jump right into it here, like a pool full of razor blades. Thursday's Valiant effort, our wonderful little image. I actually put this together all by myself. Did you know that?
You did a good job.
Yeah. Hey. So, first book we're going to talk about this week is the Book of Death, number 3. It's pretty good. Robert Venditti is writing this, and I really like it. I love the big reveal last issue that Master Dark was behind all of this. I was like, yes, I like Master Dark. He's a Shadow Man villain, and it was actually dead, and Shadow Man kind of released him in the End Times. Was it Shadow Man End Times series, a mini-series that came out, I think, earlier this year? So he's just been kind of waiting in the wings, and now we got him pulled out as the big bad dude.
He's the one that's corrupting David,
right, and trying to steal the power of the Geomancer and become the evil, corrupted one.
Right.
Yeah. So
we finally get like his whole end game of he needs them both to be together so that he can suck her power into David, and then he can consume the power of David. That's his whole like end goal. We finally get like that kind of spelled out for us of what has to happen.
Yeah.
So I was kind of happy about that.
Yeah, well, I like to. Gilad's kind of figured out the Eternal Warriors protect. His job has always been to protect the Geomancer, protect Earth, and so in this issue we kind of get that whole. He's figured out how this works when Tama, who's like one half of the Geomancer power, reads the book. Then David, who's the other half of the Geomancer power, can sense it. And so what he wants is he doesn't just want them to find Tama and him. He wants to be able to find them. So now, this all has, a big fight with some really awesome looking giant dead monster
gnarl
animals, guts hanging
woodland
out.
creatures.
I mean, the artwork is just beautiful through this book. I really, really like it. That's Doug Braithwaite. I just love his stuff anyway. So it's an excellent series.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely pick up number 3. If you can't get 1 and 2, you got to find them. Number 4 comes out in a couple weeks, wrapping up this whole big event, crossing across pretty much all the books. So we have Ninjak and Exo healing up. And right now, Gilad is off with Tama, trying to hunt down Master Dark and finish this. His goal is to kill him and stop it.
Gilad says he knows where they are, so they're going to get him.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
So another number 3 out this week is Book of Death, Legends of the Geomancer, the much rude series by many people.
This one was pretty short, too. It was only like 20 pages or something.
Yeah, and I actually saw this one for sale at my local comic shop for $7 compared to $40.
Wow.
I still didn't buy it, but yeah. So it's one of those, I think that initial fear,
the shock of it,
$40 for that first issue, and then nobody wanted to buy it, and the people who did were like, "Oh, I got 4. You want to buy one for $60?" So you had a lot of flippers doing crap, and that always ruins a book for me. Even if the story is great, it makes me not want to go get it.
Well, yeah, right. No, I'm with you.
So there's some other companies that have done the same kind of thing with a book where that first issue comes out and, it's been optioned for a TV series, so automatically that book is gone. And if you go try to find it, instead of paying $3.99 for it, you're going to pay $15, whether it really has that value or not. And I'm just like, forget it. And I hate buying second printings, but for that one book, this has just been a few months ago, I bought the second print because I wanted to read the story, but I wasn't about to pay the flipper's price on it, So
I'm with you. I've done that on a couple where, I couldn't find an issue number 2 except for a second print, so I just get it. But whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, Legends of Geomancer.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I mean, it shows that the Geomancer is not necessarily good, not necessarily evil. The one thing that she says, Annie is her name. Mm-hmm. So one thing Annie says is basically she's there to keep the balance.
Yeah.
The balance between good and evil, which means she's got to kind of fluctuate between good and evil.
Right.
So it's interesting, the balance for the earth, the balance of everything. And in this one, she destroys the giants. And you kind of get that idea of,
so the cover is very misleading here.
Right.
Because she breaks it down on what happens to them, yeah. Yep,
pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, art again, beautiful. Fred Van Lente done a real good job on the story. But it's a prequel book to the entire Valiant Universe. And if you want to know it, it's great to read, but it's not a required book to understand the rest of the Valiant Universe, I don't think.
No, it's just kind of a bonus to go along and add some depth to Tama and David's characters,
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's interesting too that her name is Annie, and the guy fighting along with her is Pada.
Right,
and,
but
the brothers are
the brothers not with her anymore.
Right, but the brothers in the now, Armstrong and Gilad and all them, their last name is Anipada.
Oh, weird.
All the Immortal Brothers are Anipada. So, yeah. So that's very interesting. Gilad Anipada and Ivar Anipada and Armstrong is
and then at the very end of this book, I mean, I guess it's been out so we can kind of spoil it a little bit. She's pregnant and Pada walks away from her.
Right.
So...
Yeah, and she says, our offspring will bear our names. So I thought that was kind of interesting. There's just some things there where you're going, okay, so she's the mother of, whatever lineage leads to the three boys,
brothers,
the brothers. So it's again, it's not required reading, but it is interesting, an interesting piece of the story to kind of tie some things together from History of Valiant. So anyway,
right.
Enough about that. That was those are last week's books. If you're still able to pick them up, definitely do. They're good. Like I said, Legends of Geomancer, the price on that's definitely gone down since Valiant came back or Diamond came back and said that you can return excess copies of Book of Death that aren't sold. So that was a nice thing.
Yeah.
And now we're on to this week's book, which is excellent.
Yes.
Harbinger was definitely the Harbinger series was an excellent series. I really liked it.
I
Had some
missed it
things.
all.
Did you really miss the whole thing?
Yeah, like when we started doing these, I hadn't read anything since the 90s.
Oh gosh, and
And
I
it was
gave
over
away
at that point.
before. I think before we started doing the shows, I actually gave away the first
I remember that first
Harbinger one.
big one. Yeah.
Yep. So that's too bad. I would
Awesome.
send it to you. You can read it. Yeah. You can probably find that deluxe somewhere.
Yeah, like it may be at like a Barnes and Noble type place at this point.
Yeah. Well, in the trades, you definitely can buy the trades. So,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do it that way.
Mm-hmm. It was a good series. And then Imperium kind of led out of that. So.
Well, I'm interested to read it now because I don't know much about Faith, the Zephyr character. So.
Oh yeah.
If she's in that, I can go back and read that and learn about that character.
Right.
So that's a tip. That's a tip for everybody out there watching this too. If you want to learn about Faith before her own series comes out.
Yeah, definitely read Harbinger. They did a 0 issue a while ago, or was it a one shot where they did Armor Hunters, the Harbinger. That was interesting. And they did something with Faith, I think, not too long ago, if I remember right. Cool. They kind of gave her origin story in a way. So, she's always loved comics and always wanted to be a superhero. And so when she found out she had those powers, it was just kind of cool. So anyway, but this, we can't do too much because it would spoil this whole book. But, we start with Peter Stanchek. He's now the president of the Harbinger Corporation. And in the future,
he's 2183.
Right. Now, quite a few years in the future, 100 years from, or whatever, 80 years from now, 70, 170,
150, 150,
100 and something.
Yeah.
Long time. Math is hard.
7.
So Harada has built up his perfect world, and he left for some reason that we won't reveal, and Peter took over for him and has kind of, run everything and has lived all this time. Well, the key thing that kicks off the whole story is the bleeding monk. And bleeding monk's been around forever. He's constantly bleeding and he dies. And everybody's like, he's dead. The monk that doesn't die is dead. So that's a big event. And it leads to the whole end of things. And it was good. I liked the way that they did it. I liked, some new kind of race of beings that they kind of brought into the picture, which we don't get a whole lot about them, but just the fact that they're devourers. So, and then, kind of the, in a way, reconciliation between Stanchek and Harada after all these years. So it's pretty cool.
Right. I also like the fact that Stanchek, as he's on his way, or when as the conflict's about to come, like he kind of reflects back and is kind of saying what he always wanted to say to each member of the Harbinger group.
Right. Yeah. And it's not the first time that he's created his own little versions of them to populate his life. He actually did that in Harbinger near the end of that series. And then in the mini series that they did. So there's some correlation there between how he used to be and how he is now. Right. But yeah, in order to kind of keep himself occupied as he flies through space to meet his whatever, he creates versions of them from his mind and, relives some memories with them and talks to them about things that he would say. And then he relives each of their deaths.
He just kind of wants to hang out with his friends again for a minute.
Yeah. But it was really interesting going through each one of their deaths because 2 of them we've seen the actual deaths in the Harbinger series. And that was Joe and Phoenix, whatever her name was. I can't remember her real name. That's awful. But anyway, that was like the terrible death of one of the Harbingers. Joe's death kind of kicked off the whole Harbinger, the Renegades idea. Mm-hmm. But then the other girl starts with a C. It's a different name. Anyway, she and everybody's probably going, "It says the name right here." I'm like, "Okay."
I'm trying to go back.
Really bad names, and I didn't make
Charlene.
Notes this time. Charlene, yes. Charlene has a flame power, and she can fly and
Mhm.
stuff. And she gets killed in Harbinger. I think it was Harbinger 25. She
Oh,
dies,
wow.
and that was really sad. But
Spoiler.
well, if you haven't read it by now, that was like last year. So sorry. She dies.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
so anyway, but it was interesting, and then they talk about the lives of some of the other folks, and I thought Faith's life was really cool, and the fact that
Yeah.
her loving husband was Obadiah Archer. That was kind of cool. So
Yeah.
that's the only spoiler we'll give you for this book. I thought that was really neat, though. But
Yep.
it was cool to see the
Also,
funeral procession and everybody who was in it.
yeah. Yeah, that was great. That whole scene, the way they did that, looked beautiful.
Yeah, because even Quantum and Woody were in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. But yeah, and also there's, we'll just tell you this book has a massive twist. It doesn't turn out the way you think it's going. So
Yeah, for sure.
worth the read.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Out of like a 5, I would definitely give this book a 4.5.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's close to, I don't know what would keep it, but I'll just say 4.5.
Yeah, the artwork is excellent. I mean,
Yep.
it really, all of these fall
one shots
have been excellent. I haven't read one I didn't like yet. I can't say I haven't read one I didn't like yet. The Bloodshot one was okay. I just kind of felt like they could have done more with that story. But all the other ones have been really, really good. Ninjak was awesome, and Harbinger so far, this was really good.
Yep.
We'll see what happens next. I don't know who else is supposed to die. Probably XO.
Yeah, they would think so. You would think there would be an XO.
Maybe he'll just become an armor.
Or did we get his death in Ninjak? Did they tell us? I don't know.
I don't remember. We'll look it up. We'll know for next time. Yeah.
We'll find out. If you know, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, that's it for this week. So 3 books, 3 Book of Deaths, Book of Death 3, Book of Death Legends of Geomancer 3, and Book of Death Fall of Harbinger number 1. So if you like Valiant, we appreciate if you like, share, comment on our videos. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us your favorite character. You never know. We might have something to give away to you. I probably have something laying around here. I don't know. Do I have something? I've given away all my cool Valiant stuff. The only thing I have left this is all I have left.
Oh, the Bloodshot shot glass.
The Bloodshot Reborn shot glass, but
nice.
I really want to keep it. I like it.
Well, if we get some good comments, we'll figure something out. So don't worry.
Yeah.
Everybody.
We got some stuff. So,
yep.
But we do appreciate you taking the time to watch. This is, fairly short compared to some of our other shows. But look forward to next week. I don't know what we got lined up for there, but we definitely, Valiant always has some great books. And check out our other shows, our YouTube channel, Comic Booked. We've got tons of stuff. In fact, Comic Book Studios has a new show that's going to be coming out very soon, Bloodhaven, based on, DC Comics characters, Nightwing, and some of those others. So really looks great. They've done a great job with it. That's going to be coming out soon. You can watch a trailer on our website and on our Facebook page, our Comic Book Facebook page. You can check out all our videos on the 2 Comic Book Dudes Facebook page. And that's it. So, all right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Have a good one.